Yellow Street, we've had a couple people who have been out here awaiting the president's arrival in the airport parking lot. We first came to the airport a little bit after 7 this morning. Security the entire time has been tight as you would expect. The Secret Service arrived shortly after the people coming here around 9 o'clock this morning. We've been getting the same set and secure absolutely ready for President Trump. The entire day, another thing that's notable, business who are walking back out here tonight are not to get set. For the arrival of this one person we used to was Tony Russell, who of course at one time was the computer before in the U.S. Senate. He also is now currently serving as a big Trump administration as the administrator of the Florida administration. Another person we believe we saw earlier was Herschel Walker, who ran for a Senate here in Georgia, which of course a staunch supporter of President Trump. So just a lot of big supporting support here in Rome. We do want to support these other people from Atlanta here as well. But it's going to be a big day for all media and everybody across the country to watch the President Trump has to say here. I want you to make some way to keep this deal and everything.
You guys know which door he's gonna come out of? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
minutes before we have the president coming down with the cheerleader officer force one, but certainly see a lot of people. A lot of people, that's the biggest thing. Certainly a big security operation. And the president is going to say this. Yeah, of course, it's hard to see exactly as we're looking at the back of some of their heads and certainly actually some of them. They walk in and turn around getting ready to meet the president. One person I can't quite tell exactly on the end there, you see like YouTube with the red tie, it's actually here, but it doesn't need to be able to be here. Of course, that's one of the biggest things that we're watching here. Certainly the president saying he's coming here to talk about the economy in Georgia, but another big thing that of course we're all watching right now is that race to replace former Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene that I know is already that special election. Officially set for March 10th. It is the Trump majority candidate. The president is continuing to say he is working earlier this week. He said he was coming down here to make that endorsement. You know, it's certainly a crowd. He didn't get total, but 13 Republicans, so it's certainly crowd. A runoff is possible to happen on April 7th. So, of course, that's one of the bigger things that we're also watching for today. The president also talking about the economy. We see now the voter tape here coming up. So we will be probably seeing the president here in just any moment now. No, absolutely, and I mean, certainly we hear a lot of the other candidates, some of them are also some supporters of President Trump, so certainly something to watch. Of course, again, 13 Republicans, that's just a lot of dead administration, and 3 Democrats, a Libertarian, and an Independent as well, so it's certainly going to be a race to watch. It's obviously very confident in that head to a runoff that election day being on April 7th again. They say it's 50% on the percent of that direction. Yeah, well, Trace Lonnie, we only found out that President Trump was coming here to Rome a little bit earlier this week, so it's certainly, a fast process for the White House to put everything together, of course, to make sure it's going to work for the President to come in here. And in terms of us, closed the gate here this morning and set up all of our equipment at around 10 or so. We got everything set here. We're getting right now on the 10, I have small trailers where all the media the Air Force One, as you can see, and the motorcade in front of that. So it's a small area that we're set up here. We left all of our gear here to make sure everything was safe and that was all safe. We were just waiting in the parking lot for the last 2 hours, waiting for the president to arrive, and then we came in just about 15-20 minutes before Air Force One touched down here just a couple of minutes ago, and they made sure that we went to metal detectors checked once again as we came back in. So certainly a lot of security just to make sure, again, obviously, with any big leader, but certainly the President of the United States, to make sure that the people in the country. Yeah, it was great to not just let everybody who's got to take the same thing the President's touchdown. Yeah, let's right here, of course, watching the president. We were expecting that he's going to be heading to a business, and then we were told he's going to be recording a podcast before making his vacation field, where, of course, again, we know people are waiting for a case from Mark. Another thing that we can see, because I'm assuming we are using here on the beach where you see the president, we also have the White House press tour. So you notice being led by, of course, the president here in Caroline by the window. They are making their way off the other direction, back off the tarmac, and into some of their vehicles. So some of the people you saw there in that receiving line, they are heading off that way, in that direction as well. But again, you see the beach here heading off the tarmac. They're going to get this motorcade, and they're going to get this inspection. Then to be heading to some of the business here. You see it over. Yes, Latrice, it does appear that. And one other thing that I just want to add, I know we were saying we weren't entirely sure if that was Clay Fuller. We have seen the Clay Fuller posted about here as part of the group that was welcoming the president, so we can definitely confirm that that was him. Again, the Trump endorsed him in that special congressional election here. It was part of that receiving line. And again, obviously one of the big things that we're expecting the president to talk about today as his motorcade makes its way off the tarmac towards
stand. Come, please, stand just for a second. Pakistan and India, thank you very much. And I spoke to Prime Minister Modi. He's excited. He's watching us right now. Egypt and Ethiopia. We're going to get that, you know, there's a little dam that got built. Little dam, like maybe the largest dam in the world. Built and financed, of course, by the United States brilliantly. And having a little trouble getting water to the Nile. That's a tough situation, but we're going to get that solved. Armenia and Azerbaijan, we talked about, and again, thank you, fellas, very much. Great job. Great job. Thank you. Cambodia and Thailand. So incredible what you did, that you got together and it all worked out. They're watching right now on closed circuit. Thank you very much, and thank you. That was a big one, Cambodia and Thailand. These are nasty fighters, I have to tell you. These fighters are nasty. Now we talk about, you talk nasty fighter, you're nice guys compared to this. Congo and Rwanda. That was, and we've got them pretty peaceful. There's little flare-ups every once in a while. I'll get a call once a week. Sir, there's a flare-up in the Congo again. We'll get it straightened out, right, Susie? We'll get it straightened out. And Israel, as you know, with, you could say Israel in numerous countries if you want to really know the truth, but Israel and Iran, and we'll see where that goes. But when you think of Israel, we've done the biggest thing of all. We have peace in the Middle East right now. That's bigger than people said it couldn't be done. For 3,000 years, they've been talking about Middle East. They said it couldn't be done. And you look at what's happened in Gaza. And one of the keys to it was when we took those beautiful, magnificent, we just ordered 22 more of them, updated model. The B-2 bombers are incredible. I never understood the B-2 bomber. I'd watch, it's a wing. And I've never quite understood that, Johnny. I'd look at it, I'd say it was beautiful, but what does it do? It carries very big bombs. And it went into Iran and it totally decimated the nuclear potential. And when it decimated that, all of a sudden we had peace in the Middle East because there was a black cloud hanging over the Middle East. Would put you out of business. Any questions?
Mr. President, you took a kind of a little bit of a swipe at AOC today, and I was just wondering.
Well, her performance was horrible. I was surprised, actually. I didn't know she was stupid.
So how would you have answered the question that she was asked about whether the U.S. should support Taiwan if they're...
Well, I would have just said, but it's none of your business right now, because I wouldn't answer that question anyway. I wouldn't respond to a question like that. That's war. When it comes to war, you don't talk about your strategy. She could have done that very easily. She had no idea. I don't think she knew what Taiwan was. That was the problem. You don't talk about military strategy. She could have taken an easy pass on that one. That was not a good answer. Could be death-defying, because I suspect that'll be used in every campaign for the next 30 years against her. It was not a good one, Peter. What do you think?
I got a question about something big overseas today. The former Prince Andrew arrested by the police there, related to something with Jeffrey Epstein. Do you think people in this country at some point, associates of Jeffrey Epstein, will wind up in handcuffs too?
Well, you know, I'm the expert in a way because I've been totally exonerated. That's very nice. I can actually speak about it very nicely. I think it's a shame. I think it's very sad. I think it's so bad for the royal family. It's a very, very sad. To me, it's a very sad thing. When I see that, it's a very sad thing. To see it and to see what's going on with his brother, who's obviously coming to our country very soon, and he's a fantastic man, the king. So I think it's a very sad thing. It's really interesting because nobody used to speak about Epstein when he was alive, but now they speak. But I'm the one that can talk about it because I've been totally exonerated. I did nothing. In fact, the opposite. He was against me. He was fighting me in the election, which I just found out from the last 3 million pages of documents. Yeah, please. Yeah, please.
You said today on Iran, bad things will happen if
Yeah,
Iran
bad things.
doesn't make
Really
a
bad
deal.
things.
What will that?
I'm not going to talk to you about that.
No. What is the goal if there is a U.S. military
Well, we're
strike?
going to make a deal, or we're going to get a deal one way or the other.
But with a military strike, is it to wipe out their nuclear
I'm not going to talk to you about that. But we're either going to get a deal, or it's going to be unfortunate for them.
And you said today 10 days. Given them a deadline firm to make a deal.
I would think that would be enough time, 10, 15 days, pretty much maximum.
President, when you have the Board of Peace, obviously there's a lot of countries that you're trying to get on. What countries would you like to see join the Board of Peace the
Well,
most?
we have a lot that are on, and we have a lot that are going through the process of getting on. They have to get legislative approval, etc. And we've had billions of dollars put up already by the countries that are on. You saw some of the big players today. It's been very successful. Everyone's going to want to be on. Everyone wants to be on. Some have to go back to their legislatures to get approval.
Would you want like China, Russia, any of those?
I would love to have China and Russia. They've been invited. Yeah.
Something that got a lot
You
of
need both. You need all persuasions. No discrimination.
something that got a lot of attention this week. Barack Obama said that aliens are real. Have you seen any evidence of non-human visitors to Earth?
Well, he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that. You know.
So aliens are real.
Well, I don't know if they're real or not. I can tell you, he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that.
Well,
He made a big mistake. He took it out of classified information. No, I don't have an opinion on it. I never talk about it. A lot of people do. A lot of people believe it. Do you believe it, Peter?
Well, the president can declassify anything that he wants to. So if you
I'll
want to
get
make
him
an
out of trouble.
announcement,
I may get him out of trouble by declassifying.
We know illegal aliens are real.
Yeah, illegal. Only illegals. What else?
what do you, based on what you've been told, what do you think happened to Savannah Guthrie's mom, Nancy?
Boy, it's so crazy. It's so bad. I didn't like when they were talking about the going after the pacemaker and you know, before they even started going after it, they're coming and reporting it. So if in fact they could do it that way, the person would say, well, I'm not going to let that happen, right? So bad things would happen if he not going to let that happen. I can't imagine why they would have done that. It just in terms of strategy, just one little piece. I don't know, but we have to start reporting on other subjects also and see what happens. It's a very sad situation.
Sir,
And with Iran, if the whole point
Yeah,
of
I have to take off. I'll come back.
Thanks.
All right?
Yeah,
Or
thank
do
you.
I have to? Maybe I don't have to. Have a good
I
time.
think you have
Thank
to.
you.
I think you have to.
Sit down.
Yeah.
Go to Gaza. I'll go to Gaza and I'll go to various other places, hot spots as they. I don't think so. Would put you out of business. Any questions?
Mr. President, you took a kind of a little bit of a swipe at AOC today, and I was just
Well,
wondering.
her performance was horrible. I was surprised, actually. I didn't know she was stupid.
So, how would you have answered the question that she was asked about whether the U.S. should support Taiwan if they're ever attacked by China?
Well, I would have just said, it's none of your business right now, because I wouldn't answer that question anyway. I wouldn't respond to a question like that. That's war. When it comes to war, you don't talk about your strategy. She could have done that very easily. She had no idea. I don't think she knew what Taiwan was. That was the problem. But you don't talk about military strategy. Could have taken an easy pass on that one. That was not a good answer. Could be death-defying, because I suspect that'll be used in every campaign for the next 30 years against her. It was not a good one, Peter. What do you think?
I got a question about something big overseas today. The
Go ahead.
former Prince Andrew arrested by the police there, related to something with Jeffrey Epstein. Do you think people in this country at some point, associates of Jeffrey Epstein, will wind up in handcuffs too.
Well, you know, I'm the expert in a way because I've been totally exonerated. It's very nice. I can actually speak about it very nicely. I think it's a shame. I think it's very sad. I think it's so bad for the royal family. It's a very, very sad. To me, it's a very sad thing. When I see that, it's a very sad thing. To see it and to see what's going on with his brother, who's obviously coming to our country very soon, and he's a fantastic man, the king. So I think it's a very sad thing. It's really interesting because nobody used to speak about Epstein when he was alive, but now they speak. But I'm the one that can talk about it because I've been totally exonerated. I did nothing. In fact, the opposite. He was against me. He was fighting me in the election, which I just found out through the last 3 million pages of documents. Yeah, please. Yeah, please.
Today on Iran, bad things will happen if
Yeah,
Iran
bad things.
doesn't make
Really
a
bad
deal.
things.
What will that?
I'm not going to talk to you about that.
Okay, so what is the goal if there is a U.S. military
Well, we're
strike?
going to make a deal, or we're going to get a deal one way or the other.
But with a military strike, is it to wipe out their nuclear
I'm not
program?
going to talk to you about that, but we're either going to get a deal or it's going to be unfortunate for them.
And you said today 10 days. Given them a deadline firm to make a deal?
I would think that would be enough time, 10, 15 days, pretty much maximum.
Mr. President, when you have the Board of Peace, obviously there's a lot of countries that you're trying to get on. What countries would you like to see join the Board of Peace the
Well,
most?
we have a lot that are on, and we have a lot that are going through the process of getting on. They have to get legislative approval, etc. And we've had billions of dollars put up already by the countries that are on. You saw some of the big players today. It's been very successful. Everyone's going to want to be on. Everyone wants to be on. Some have to go back to their legislatures to get approval.
Would you want like China, Russia, any of those
I
guys?
would love to have China and Russia. They've been invited. Yeah.
Something that got a lot
You
of
need both. You need all persuasions. No discrimination.
something that got a lot of attention this week. Barack Obama said that aliens are real. Have you seen any evidence of non-human visitors to Earth?
Well, he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that. You know.
So aliens are real.
Well, I don't know if they're real or not. I can tell you, he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that.
Well,
He made a big mistake. He took it out of classified information. No, I don't have an opinion on it. I never talk about it. A lot of people do. A lot of people believe it. Do you believe it, Peter?
Well, if the president can declassify anything that he wants to, so
Well,
if you
maybe I'll
want to
get him
make
out
an
of trouble.
announcement.
I may get him out of trouble by declassifying.
We know illegal aliens.
Yeah, illegal. Only illegals. What else?
What do you, based on what you've been told, what do you think happened to Savannah Guthrie's mom, Nancy?
Boy, it's so crazy. It's so bad. I didn't like when they were talking about they're going after the pacemaker and you know, before they even started going after it, they're coming and reporting it. So if in fact they could do it that way, the person would say, well, I'm not going to let that happen, right? So bad things would happen if he not going to let that happen. I can't imagine why they would have done that. And just in terms of strategy, just one little piece, I don't know, but we have to start reporting on other subjects also and see what happens. It's a very sad situation.
Sir,
And with Iran, if the whole point
Yeah, I have to take off. I'll come back.
Thanks.
Thank you,
All right?
Yeah, thank
Or do
you.
I have to? Maybe I don't have to. Have a good
I think
time.
you have
Thank
to. I think you
you.
have to.
Sit down.
Checked once again, and he came back. There's certainly a lot of concern just to make sure, again, obviously, with any big leader, but certainly the President of the United States. Yeah, it was great. And I was just glad everybody was watching take the President's power. Right now. off the other direction, back off the tarmac, and into some of their vehicles. So some of the people you saw there in that receiving line, they are heading off that way, in that direction as well. But again, you see the police here heading off the tarmac. They're going to get this motorcade, and they're going to get this expect them to be heading to some sort of business here in the motorcade. Yes, listen, it does appear that. And one other thing that I just want to add, I know we were saying we weren't entirely sure if that was plate cooler. We have seen the plate cooler.
Diplomacy and the commitment of many of the great people in this room. We have 59 countries signed up on Gaza. Think of that. We have, it's amazing. But all the people, many, really so many in this room, the war in Gaza is over. It's over. There are little flames, little flames. Hamas has been, I think they're going to give up their weapons, which is what they promised. If they don't, it'll be, you know, they'll be harshly met, very harshly met. They don't want that. You know, all this stuff like they don't mind dying. They told me that's not true. Everyone said, oh, they don't mind dying. No, they don't want to die. They said, we don't want to die. People don't want to die. The ceasefire was held, and every last remaining hostage, both living and dead, has been returned back home. Think of that. That was an impossibility. And we did hundreds of hostages, but the last 20, and I always said to Steve and Jared, I said, the last 20 are going to be very tough, very, very tough. And we got them back. We got the living back, and then we only got about 16 of the dead, and we said, well, you got to get them. Hello, everybody. You've made a lot of money. My sister Carrie. What a nice group. So I was studying my speech. Would you like to hear my speech? Yeah. I'm making a speech in a little while. Here, take it. You can take it. Thank you, Kelly. Good. Everything okay? Look at those people back there. They have all those beautiful hamburgers. For a long time. Almost 100 years.
My dad started it.
Wow.
1928. I took it over in 1983.
Wow.
And now passed it on to my son and my son-in-law.
It's a good looking fish.
I have a grandson working
And you have great
here.
loyalty over here, too. All loyal people. Oh, look, Trump was, she's a captain. We went big, one big in Iowa, right? We were up in, all those captains were up in Iowa. And we had a great race. We had a great race spirit. We had 3 great races, you want to know the truth. And they came in, they took all those ballots, all those crooked ballots were taken. Let's see what happens. And the Democrats are fighting like hell. They don't want anyone to see those ballots. Did you see that? Let's see what happens. It's a disgrace, but what are you going to do? We're cleaning it up. Who likes voter ID? Yeah! Who likes proof of citizenship? Yeah! And who likes no mail-in ballots, except for military, illness, disability, or like you're on vacation?
Absolutely.
Agree.
Absolutely.
Yes.
mailings you get thrown into the river, right? No. We're gonna clean it up.
Who likes Clay Fuller?
Who likes Clay Fuller? Come on over here, sister. Come on over here. Clay Fuller's doing good.
Yes, sir, he is.
You had about 400 people running for the seat, right? I've endorsed Clay,
I know you have.
and I hear great things about him. I've heard really good. So, are you all for Clay?
Yeah.
I hear you're doing great.
Thank you, sir. We're going to win. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Our mom and dad are here too.
Come on, Mom. Get over here.
Mom and dad, come on.
Come on, Mom and Dad.
Mom and dad. Come on, this is mom.
Much younger. How are you? Nice to see you. Nice to see you. You're always doing a good job.
Thank you.
We're up here to endorse it, make sure everything is good. And we also have a really great lieutenant governor, you know that?
Right.
We're all for Bert, right? Bert's doing a good job. But he's here someplace.
I'm right there. I'm right there.
Where's our quarterback? Get over here. NFL prospect?
Yeah.
Well, nowadays he doesn't have to be. He can stay in college. Not a bad, doing a good business right now. And you know who we have here? Kelly Loeffler, small business. Brian Jack, one of the greatest and popular people. Come on, Brian, get over here, Brian. We have, I even came down with my chief of staff. Your father was Pat Summerall, not bad. You wouldn't know Pat Summerall. He was pretty good.
Yeah, he's great.
Anyway, good. Well, let's get on to it. What am I doing? Am I doing an interview here with some wonderful sportscaster that I hear great things about? Who the hell, do you think Biden would do this? I don't think so. Think Biden would talk about the NIL? He has no idea what it is. Are you ready? Let's go. Let's go. I'd like to have a little hair and makeup. How about a little hair and makeup? A little windy out there. Look at the arms of this guy. You gotta be kidding.
Thank you, Chad.
This is my wife's today.
On the White House beat. But this smell of fried stuff in the air tells me it sounds like this. A lot closer than we thought.
Over here. Where are you going? Right here. You're up, right?
Are we rolling in the vans or are we vans?
I know. That's why I'm not going in the van.
We just hold it in.
But we have a great relationship with Europe. We have a great head of NATO. He is a fantastic man, and he's doing a great job, really great job. I'm excited to announce that Norway has agreed to host an event bringing together the Board of Peace. Oh, I thought when I saw this note, I'm excited to announce that Norway, I thought they were going to say that they're giving me the Nobel Prize. Oh, this is less exciting. Oh, says, I'm excited to announce that Norway, and I'm saying, oh, great, I'm getting the Nobel Prize, finally. Finally, they got it right. But I don't care. I don't care about Nobel Prize. I care about saving lives, just so you understand. We play and we all, do what we have to do. I only have one thing. I don't want to see people killed from parts of the world that are very far away from the United States. And if I have an ability to turn off wars, I want to use that ability because it's people, millions of people. It's like the Prime Minister said, 25 million people maybe. And that's a small number compared to what it could have been if you really think about it, right? No, I want to save lives, and I don't care about prizes. And the UN Office for Coordination of Humanitarian Assistance is raising $2 billion for the support of Gaza. Additionally, Japan has just committed to host an aid fundraiser, which will be a very big one. It's already successful. We know some of the numbers that are being talked about, which will be attended by other nations in the region, including South Korea, the Philippines, Singapore, and others. And I know that China is going to be involved, and I think Russia is going to be involved. I think they will be. I want to have everybody, get all sides, because it doesn't help when you have all sides with one ideology. You have to have everybody together for this. I'm also pleased to announce that FIFA will be helping to raise a total of $75 million for projects in Gaza. And I think they're soccer related, where you're doing fields and you're getting the greatest stars in the world to go there. And people that are bigger stars than you and I, Johnny. I hate to say it. I met one of your great stars who came to the White House, as you know. And my son was very excited. These are great people. These are great people. And Johnny's going to bring the stars to the area. And they're really known. People in Gaza know every one of them, right? So it's really something. And we'll soon be detailing the announcement. And if I can I'll get over there with you. I want to thank Johnny and FIFA for all of the wonderful things they did and are doing. They gave me their first Peace Prize. They gave me a Peace Prize. I think they saw that I got screwed by Norway, and they said, let's give him a Peace Prize. I mean, very good. Thank you, Johnny. I appreciate it. Johnny's very smart. He's very, very smart. The nations represented here today, just in closing, are not just contributing money. Some are also pledging personnel to help preserve the ceasefire and secure a very enduring peace. We have to have enduring peace. Having peace, knowing it's going to blow up in 2 weeks doesn't mean anything. In particular, Indonesia, thank you very much. Indonesia. It's a great country. Thank you very much. Look at that man. Look how tough he is. You think it's easy dealing with him? Look at that face. You are a tough cookie. And we say it lovingly, too. We need strength. You say, see, he doesn't mind. He's tough and he's smart. And smart is more important. Morocco, thank you very much. Great. What you're doing is great. Albania, Kosovo, Kazakhstan have all committed troops and police to stabilize Gaza. Egypt and Jordan are likewise providing very, very substantial help, troops, training, and support for a very trustworthy Palestinian police force. We think we're getting some very good people on that police force. And, it's peace in the Middle East. We have peace in the Middle East. Think of it. For years you've been hearing about peace in the Middle East, and everybody's saying it's impossible. All of these countries are working together around the vision of a Middle East that is free from the curse of extremism and terror. And now is time. And by the way, even people with extremism and preaching extremism, they're exhausted. They're tired. It's been going on for too many years. I don't care who you are. They're tired. They want peace. And now is the time for Iran to join us on a path that will complete what we're doing. And if they join us, that'll be great. If they don't join us, that'll be great too. But it'll be a very different path. They cannot continue to threaten the stability of the entire region, and they must make a deal. Or if that doesn't happen, I maybe can understand. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But bad things will happen if it doesn't. With the commitments announced today, the Board of Peace is proving that it does not just convene countries, it devises and implements, and real solutions happen. We've come up with solutions. This is so little talk. This is very little talk, all action. First time, it was always talk in the Middle East. People would talk about peace in the Middle East, and then they'd go home and they'd never even think about it again. Nothing would happen. We're providing a model for how responsible sovereign nations can cooperate to take responsibility for confronting problems in their own regions. The Board of Peace is showing how a better future can be built, starting right here in this room. And I want to let you know that
Just
the
a
United
few minutes, and so I thought I'd come up and say a few words. It's great to be here in Rome, Georgia, and I can look out here and I can tell this is definitely Trump country. So go Trump. I am Brandon Beach. I'm the 46th Treasurer of the United States. I'm the first Treasurer from the state of Georgia, and I'm proud to serve Georgia in that capacity. You know, from day one, President Trump hit the ground running. He signed executive orders. He and Secretary Bessent did tariffs, and then they passed the One Big Beautiful Bill. They laid the foundation in 2025. And 2026 is going to be a great year, and we will see the results of the president's great hard work. I'm very optimistic and bullish about 2026, and I'll tell you why. One, it's our 250-year birthday celebration. It's our birthday of our country, and we're going to be talking about American exceptionalism, American spirit, American pride, and American success stories. Number two, we got FIFA World Cup coming. We're going to show the world how great America is. Then the One Big Beautiful Bill kicks in. You're going to see no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime. You're going to see money flowing and the economy going well. Number four, we got a new Fed chair. You're going to see interest rates come down. You young folks that want to buy a house, you're going to have better interest rates. Number five, we're going to be not oil independent. We're going to be oil dominant, and you're going to see $2 gallon gas. GDP's at 4.4. And then top that with the stock market. The Dow hit 50,000. We're heading record stock markets. So we're going to have a booming economy. And this will be a stark contrast between capitalism and socialism. And you really need to look no further than what's going on in New York City. They're wanting to raise taxes. They're wanting to fire police officers, and they're in disarray. I will take capitalism every day over socialism. Now, let me say this. I say this a lot. Leadership matters, elections matter, and elections have consequences. And I will say President Trump may not be on the ballot, but his policies are on the ballot. And we need to get you guys to go out and vote and make sure we keep him in a majority, both in the House and the Senate. And I want to close with this. I was very, very fortunate to be part of the Trump campaign last time. And I ran a PAC called Take Back Georgia. I was chairman of that PAC. So I did rallies. I went to Iowa with him. We were throwing footballs at a fraternity house. We were flipping burgers. And I really got to know President Trump. And when you get to know somebody behind the scenes, it didn't take me very long to figure out a couple things about President Trump. Number one, he loves our country. President Trump loves his country. Number two, President Trump loves his family. He makes his family work. He loves his family. President Trump loves and law enforcement and respects the military. Every rally I was at, he would have several law enforcement folks in the back, and he would take pictures with them, and he would thank them for their service. But you know what President Trump really loves? He loves capitalism. He wants you, your kids, and your grandkids to have the opportunity to pursue the American dream. And President Trump realizes government doesn't create jobs, the private sector does. But what we can do as government is create a conducive environment through tariffs and fair trade, low taxes, less regulation, an educated workforce, and infrastructure investment, both roads, bridges, and 21st century infrastructure like AI and fiber and satellites. So in the end, I want to end also on this. He's going to have several legacies. One, he's really peace in the world. That's a huge legacy of the president's. Number one. Number two, he has secured the border. There is nobody flowing over the border anymore. But I was fortunate to be with him 2 weeks ago, myself and Secretary Bessent and Michael Dell and Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful, and Nicki Minaj. And we made an announcement, and I think this is going to be a major legacy of the president's. They're called Trump accounts. Trump accounts. And what that Trump account will do, it'll invest in our kids, and our kids will then be invested in our country. They'll learn financial literacy, compounding interest, and investing. The Trump accounts are for kids under 18. And we're going to have a pilot program if you were born this year till 2028, December 31st to 2028. But if you have kids now that are under 18, you can open up a Trump account. All you have to do is go to trumpaccount.gov. You fill out one form. It's an IRS form called 4547. You know why it's called 4547? It's easy to remember. So what I would say is this one program, Trump accounts, it really will preserve capitalism and give every young person in our country the opportunity to pursue the American dream. So thank you for being here for President Trump. Thank you for allowing me to say a few words. Thank you for supporting our candidates. And God bless you and God bless America. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Mr. President, very much for your leadership, but also for the kind words about me personally. I knew exactly what I wanted to say, but then after the president said that I was so smart and that I didn't want to repeat our Congresswoman who froze for 20 seconds over in Munich, now I'm tempted, sir, just to freeze for 20 seconds and just stare at the cameras, and maybe they'll say nice things about me like they do about Congresswoman Cortez. But I have three very brief messages. First of all, to the President of the United States, but to the entire team, to Marco, to Steve, to Jared in particular, who've done such an incredible job. I think what this Board of Peace represents is a recognition that if you actually have a President of the United States and a team that's committed to diplomacy, it can actually work. When I look at what happened to Israel on October the 7th, all those innocent people who were murdered, the fact that you had all of these hostages, and of course, a terrible war that came from it, I remember thinking to myself, how is it ever going to be possible to get these hostages home safely, to make it possible for the people of Gaza to actually have a reasonable future, but also to ensure that Israel is never attacked again? It turns out the answer was you just needed a president who was committed to the effort and committed to the work, and that's what we had, thankfully, under the leadership of this president. And you got to make peace, but then you have to make the peace stick. And that brings me to my second point. That's what the Board of Peace, I think, is fundamentally about, is making the peace stick. And it's an incredible thing that you guys have all done. So to all of the leaders gathered here today who are investing in the future, who are investing in peace, we're grateful to you. We're grateful for your partnership. And in particular, I think to the President of Azerbaijan and the Prime Minister of Armenia, who I just saw last week, thank you all for making it possible and for showing what real leadership can accomplish. When you set aside weapons and killing and destruction and invest in your people and invest in prosperity, it can create great things. So thank you both for what you did. I think it showed great leadership. And finally, to the American people, I think it's important that the American people recognize why we're here today. And the reason that we're here today is, yes, to save lives and yes, to promote peace. But this creates incredible prosperity for the American people. The countries represented here represent trillions of dollars of investment in the United States of America that would not have been possible without this president's leadership and advocacy for peace. The economies here represent millions of American jobs of people who are receiving products built in American factories and made by American workers would not be possible without a focus on peace. So, Mr. President, while I think this is great for the world, I also think it's really, really great for the United States of America. So we're looking forward to the partnership. With that, I want to turn it over to the MC for the rest of the program, and that is our great press secretary, Carolyn Levitt. Thank you.
Well, congratulations, Mr. President and Mr. Vice President, for convening the first ever Board of Peace meeting, and we will now hear from our Secretary of State, Marco Rubio.
I'll be brief and to the point. We want to talk a little bit about the strategic vision of this organization and begin doing so by first acknowledging that we are here today because the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, has both an ability and a willingness to use the power of his office to think outside the box. And that's why we're here today. This was a very unique crisis in Gaza, one that the existing international institutions could not solve or figure out. It needed a very specific type solution that required the partnership of all the nations that are here, including those that are here on an observer status, and we appreciate you coming today and being a part of this as well. And that's the point I want to drive home today, and soon you'll hear from Steve and Jared, who, by the way, deserve an incredible amount of credit for pulling this together and working countless hours and traveling all over the world. They truly deserve our appreciation and thanks for the work they've put in under the leadership of President Trump to make this possible. This Gaza situation was impossible to solve under orthodoxy, under existing structures. And so what we did is they went to the UN, and they got the UN's approval to put this group together and bring these nations together to come up with a very specific solutions to a very unique and specific problem. We have a long ways to go. There's a lot of work that remains. It will require the contribution of every nation state represented here today, and we thank you for being a part of it. And we hope that this can serve as a model for other complex and difficult situations so they can be solved in the same way. But right now the focus is on this one. We have to get this right. There is no plan B for Gaza. Plan B is going back to war. No one here wants that. Plan A, the only path forward, is one that rebuilds Gaza in a way of enduring and sustainable peace, where everyone can live there side by side with one another and never worry again about returning to conflict, to war, to human suffering, and to destruction. And again, Mr. President, thank you for having the vision and the courage to pursue something that has never been done before, and we're not done yet. And thank you to Steve Woodcock and Jared Kushner for the time and the work they put into this. And thank you on behalf of the State Department and the U.S. government to all of the nations that are here. Every one of you is indispensable, including our observer partners, who we hope can find your way to join us at some point as officially part of this. But we are grateful for the fact you're here today and the contributions you've made already. Thank you.
Thank you, Marco. We will now hear from our Special Envoy, Steve Woodcock.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. I don't know if we ever believed that this was possible when we first started envisioning a Board of Peace, but of course, under the President's indispensable leadership, and it begins with that. It begins with President Trump's leadership and his direction. We are here today, and it's pretty amazing. I think we have some people to thank. We had an amazing partnership between the mediating countries, Qatar, Egypt, Turkey, Prime Minister Mohammed. You are an exceptional human being. You really are. Ali, thank you for everything you did. That's you right over there, Ali. Wherever Hakan is, Hakan, you were amazing. And so was Ibrahim and President Erdogan, and of course, to the Egyptians, Badr, I know you're smiling because we went through so much. And General Hassan was amazing. We all became friends here. And Prime Minister Sisi, President Sisi, pardon me, and so many others. But our team, JD, your insight, your counsel, and Marco, you're an amazing secretary, and it's a privilege to work for you. And Jared, you are my dear friend and the best partner I ever had. You are an amazing person. But Mr. President, it is my greatest honor to work for you. It is the blessing in my life. I've had many blessings. I don't have to be a practicing lawyer anymore, but this is my greatest blessing. But I also have to mention one other person who is important to this discussion. Oh, the Israelis, I forgot. Prime Minister Netanyahu. Without him, much wouldn't have been accomplished as well. And that's really important that we acknowledge him here today, and Ron Dermer. But a person who doesn't care much about the acclaim, we have to acknowledge too, and that's you, Susie. Because I would come back and you would say to me on every trip, what can I do for you? This matters. And you are an inspiration for all of us. So I thank everybody, and let me get on to, am I going on to the next slide?
Sure.
Caroline?
Sure.
Okay. So with regard to the hostages, we're here today, again, I say it, I know it sounds redundant, but we're here today because of President Trump. Without him, none of this was possible. There were 251 hostages. 168 came out alive. 83 bodies were returned to their families so that they could grieve and remember their loved ones like in a normal way, in a way that brought their families together. So that was just as important. This was a monumental effort, and I want to tell a story about the president. Every time a hostage family came to visit with us, they were not on the president's schedule. I would walk down to the Oval Office, I would tell the president that there was a hostage family here, and he would say, "Steve, bring them up." Every single time. Mm-hmm. And when we got the last 20 out, we had a celebration at the White House, and I could see the emotion on the president's face. And he came up to me and he said to me, "I have to tell you, this is my 5th year in the Oval Office, and I don't know that I've ever had a more special time than this moment with these people, seeing them come home." And I said to the president, "You have to look around because none of them would be home without you, sir. None of them." So I only want to tell you, Mr. President, you gave me my greatest honor to work on this effort, and I thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Now you're going to hear directly from the team that has been tasked with implementing President Trump's 20-point plan for Gaza, beginning with our ambassador to the United Nations, Mike Waltz.
Thank you, and thank you, Mr. President, Excellencies. First, let me wish everyone a happy and prayerful Ramadan. Thank you so much for joining all of us today. Mr. President, Excellencies, bottom line, humanitarian aid has absolutely surged since the Gaza war ended. Our Central Command, our great military, is working together with Israel, with the UN, so many countries here to coordinate the aid, to make sure there's deconfliction. Over 70 countries now are participating in our Civil Military Command Center, and here are the results. Aid is up. 4,200 aid trucks have entered Gaza each week for 13 consecutive weeks, the longest stretch of high-volume assistance to Gaza in years. Diversion is down significantly from prior to the ceasefire, with less than 1% diverted this month. Food supplies are way up. We are reaching the full 2.1 million Gazans with aid, up 5 times from the delivery levels before the ceasefire. The percentage of households experiencing severe hunger has dropped from about 30% to down to 1%. As of this past February, drinking water has doubled, and child malnutrition has been cut in half. If we could go to the next slide. Mr. President, only under your leadership and this great team could we bring together the United States, Israel, Egypt, Jordan, the UAE, the United Nations agencies. Mr. President, bottom line, like you, this is a board of action, not a board of endless talk or speeches, and these results are a true testament to your leadership and the leadership of this great team. We are saving lives, and it's an honor to be a part of it. Thank you, Mr. President.
Dr. Ali Shaith.
It is my honor to be here representing the National Committee for the Administration of Gaza. Thank you, President Trump, for your leadership, for your continued efforts. A new governing authority is now in place for Gaza, with a clear mandate and a clear commitment to establishing development and stability. However, we are operating in extremely difficult conditions. Large parts of Gaza Strip are severely damaged, destroyed actually. Humanitarian needs are acute. Law and order remain fragile. This is not normal operating environment, President, which is precisely why discipline and prioritization matter. Our priorities, therefore, are defined into 4 categories. First, restore security via professional civilian police under one authority, one law, and one weapon, including training and developing 5,000 Gazan police to be deployed in 60 days. Secondly, revive economic activities and livelihoods, creating decent jobs, especially for our young population. Thirdly, ensure
deep down in Louisiana, close to New Orleans, way back up in the woods among the evergreens, there stood a log cabin made of earth and wood, where lived a country boy named Johnny B. Good, who never ever learned to read or write so well, but he could play a guitar just like a ring in a bell. Go, go! Go, Johnny, go, go! Go, Johnny, go, go! Go, Johnny, go, go! Go, Johnny, go, go! Johnny be good. He used to carry his guitar in a gunny sack, go sit beneath the tree by the railroad track, gold engine, everything sitting in the shade, strumming with the rhythm that the drivers made. When people passing by, they would stop and say, oh my, but that little country boy could play. Go, go! Go, Johnny, go, go! Go, Johnny, go, go! Go, Johnny, go, go! Go, Johnny, go, go! Johnny be good.
Will you please sign my son? Thank you for everything.
Trump, can you
Thank
please
you.
Biden's signature for me?
I
will. I know exactly what that
I'll represent.
is. I will. Thank you, L1.
Thank you, President Trump, for
That guy did to
sending,
this country.
for sending troops to Nigeria. Thank you, thank you.
That's my President's question for you, Mike Collins. Ready for an endorsement yet? He's an awesome
Well, I
guy.
tell you, President Biden is a good guy.
He is a good guy. We love him. Mike Collins. Mike Collins. Mike Collins is going to win. Sounds great. Thank you, sir. It's why I have decided we appreciate everything you've done. President Trump, will you sign right now? Thanks, guys.
I think I better get this.
You know, he's a hard man.
Thank you, everybody.
Trump.
This is Trump different than yourself? Trump. Go President Trump. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, President. Thank you. I told him. Are you ready? I told him no tax on tips. No tax on overtime. Did that matter? Yes. Thank you. And she's worked here for almost 50 years. And she paid tax for all those years of those tips, right? Religiously. But not anymore. No more tax on tips. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
President, just myself.
Trump, President Trump. Can you replace Biden's signature? I will. See what he wants? He wants me, let's see, dear American,
It's the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award.
Wow, that's pretty good.
But I don't want his name on there. So can you help me out?
I love it.
He doesn't want Biden's name on his Lifetime Achievement Award. Yeah. Mine's not an auto pen. This is. That's an auto pen. See that? You know that's an auto pen. See, that's an auto pen. You want me to cross it off?
Yes. That's it right there.
That's an auto pen signature.
That's it.
You think he signed it? He didn't sign that. Crazy, man.
That's a lifetime.
Crazy stuff, right?
That's crazy.
I don't know how he did that. Auto pens. It's insulting if you think about it. Okay, now you have a real Lifetime Achievement Award. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you, Chris. See you at the next event. Do we like the fake news?
Yeah.
Huh? I'm not so sure. If they go, no, we don't. So far, you've been very fair. You've been very fair. Yes.
I'd like to shake your hand, sir. I'm the mayor of Rome.
You can shake my hand.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank
President.
you. Good-looking guy, right?
Yeah, thank you. You are too.
Thank you. Have a good time.
Thank you for coming.
Bye, everybody.
To be better far than you are, to try when your arms are too weary, to reach the unreachable star. Oh, this is my quest, to follow that star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far, to fight for the right, without question or pause, to be willing to march into hell for a heavenly cause. And I know if I'll only be true to this glorious quest, and my heart will lie peaceful and calm when I'm laid to my rest. And the world will be better for this. That one man, scorned and covered with scars, still strove with his last ounce of courage to reach the unreachable star. And the world will be better for this. Oh, that one man, scorned and covered with scars, he still strove with his last ounce of courage, oh, to reach the unreachable star. Thank you very much.
This is a man's world. But it would be nothing without a woman or a girl. Mm-hmm. You see, man made the car to take us over the road. Man made the train, carry the heavy load. Man made the electric lights, take us out of the dark.